The RMT Overland Jeep Gladiator, is it a pavement princess or an overland beast? Check out this video to find out. Alright, so RMT Overland has been around in one form or another since 1978, upfitting vehicles for off-road use. They are currently owned by Fox Racing, so the same Fox that you're used to when it comes to suspension parts is now behind the wheel of RMT Overland. And the unique thing about this particular Jeep Gladiator, and they actually do have other models as well, as far as like you can get some upfitted vehicles by Chevy, Ford, and Dodge as well. But this unique thing about this Jeep Gladiator is you can actually go to a Jeep dealership and buy this Gladiator exactly the way you see it here, but get it with a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. So RMT Overland is working with Jeep directly. They're going through doing all the upfitting, accessorizing the vehicle so that it functions well off-road, but has also been safety certified. And then that way you can basically go to your Jeep dealership, or you can go to RMT Overland's website directly, which I'll have the link in the description, and you can order this Jeep exactly the way it is here, and have that peace of mind of the warranty. And you don't have to spend all the time trying to dink around and figure out all the different components and what's going to work and what's not going to work and what's going to void your warranty or not void your warranty. So I think this is a great package, especially for the individual that has a busy lifestyle and they really want to go out and just do the activity that they want to do, whether it be fishing, hunting, overlanding, skiing, whatever it is that they want to do. They just want a fully outfitted vehicle ready to go off the lot, and they want to go spend that time doing going out and doing the activity that they really are interested in. RMT Overland handed me over this Jeep Gladiator, and I took it on an absolutely amazing 5-day, 4-night adventure in some of the most beautiful desert country we have here in Oregon. If you guys haven't seen those videos, you can check the upper right hand corner and give them a view. It was absolutely a great time. But before we kind of go in and talk about some of the experiences that I had on that trip with the Jeep Gladiator, I want to do just a quick walk around. So this particular Jeep is the Jeep Gladiator Sport. It's not the Rubicon. I think there's some good reasons to go with the Sport with this type of package, because with everything RMT has done, it makes it a great vehicle for off-road. You do lose a couple of features that the Rubicon would give you, one of those being electronics sway bar disconnects, but RMT has set up very easy for you to do a manual disconnect on the sway bars. And also, of course, you lose the factory locker, though a locker would be easy enough to add if you wanted to. So to me, that's not a big issue. To get started with the upgrades that RMT has done, you do get the Fox 2.5 suspension, which is just really nice suspension. I really like the fact that you can adjust the compression and rebound. You know, I can be on the road, I can get good handling and comfort on the road, but as soon as I hit the trail, a couple adjustments on the dials here, and I get a soft, supple ride down the trail, which I have to say, this has probably been the most comfortable vehicle I've ever ridden in or drove off-road. It's like driving a Cadillac down a smooth highway off-road. It's just absolutely awesome. You do have a 3.5-inch lift. They have 37-inch KM3 BF Goodrich KM3s on here. I believe the KO2s are an option, which if I was going to go with this vehicle, I'd probably pick the KO2s because I do prefer an all-terrain over mud terrains. You have beadlock wheels. I believe these are actual RMT branded wheels, but you get the beadlocks on those. Up front here, you have a snubby bumper. You also have the optional Warren winch. So this is an option you can get. It doesn't necessarily come with it, but it is an option you can choose and also get under the factory warranty. Everything underneath has been figured out and tuned by Fox to make sure that you're going to get the best ride ever. You also have the Fox steering stabilizer, which is also going to help in your handling. As we kind of move up the hood here, you do have RMT has designed this handy little mounting bracket where they have this Baja Designs light on, and so you can actually mount different accessories up here or kind of move your lights around however you would like. All right, coming around to the side of the Jeep, you have these rock sliders. These are really nice and sturdy. I feel like they actually would protect the Jeep if you route them up against a rock. And in the back, you have this really nice low profile bed rack with their custom mounts. You have the extruded aluminum across here, which gives you lots of different mounting options for things like these max tracks, your rooftop tent, and then the roto packs on the other side, which the max tracks, the rooftop tent, and the roto packs are part of this package and part of that 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty. So RMT Overland has really done a great job, I think, at giving us a very turnkey option to where, like I said, you can just go to the dealership, you can leave the dealership with this vehicle, and with some basic camp gear, you can definitely get out and start exploring the outdoors right away. And you know, it's always important to have a very functional vehicle, but we all want our vehicles to look good too. So one of the nice things they've done is they offer you the option of accented everything. So you got, you know, like the wheels, you got the red accents, you got the air vents that are accent, all the suspension components have got red accents on them, and then in this particular vehicle, the dash and everything is also red accented. So, you know, this is just a really nice, good-looking Jeep that also is very functional as well. All right, so like I said, I took this thing on a 5-day, 4-night adventure in some very remote country, and to even get there, it took me about 6 hours of driving on pavement. And one of the things that I think is really important when you're building an overland vehicle is it needs to handle well off-road, but I don't want to lose comfort in driving on pavement. I don't want to be fatigued from driving a vehicle that's unruly on the road at high speeds by the time I get to the trail. With the 37-inch tires and the lift, sometimes vehicles like that can start to get a little unruly, but in this case, with the Fox 2.5-inch suspension and the ability to adjust that suspension and tighten up the compression and the rebound a little bit, it definitely allowed this vehicle to handle very nice. And then of course the steering stabilizer does help a lot as well. But either way, driving at high speeds, you know, a lot of the backcountry roads we can drive 65, 70 miles an hour. They're curvy, and you know, this thing handled great. It was very comfortable on the inside. We had cool weather. I enjoyed the certain things like the heated seats, the heated steering wheel, the Sirius XM radio, just all made the actual drive to the trail system a lot more comfortable. Another thing that I was fairly impressed with the vehicle driving that way is with these 37s, again, I expected the gas mileage to be junk and the power to be kind of sluggish. Actually, this has 410 gearing in it, and I found the power to be really good. It seemed to have plenty of power on the highway. It got up and went very easily, but I also managed to maintain about 14, just over 14 miles per gallon with it loaded with my camp gear. Gas mileage did go down once you start to explore a little bit, and as my trip went on, I got into some severe mud, and the vehicle got completely caked, as you probably can see from my poor wash job, that it was completely caked in mud, and that did kill my miles per gallon quite a bit. I actually dropped down to about 10 miles per gallon with this thing caked in mud and you know, driving slow. So you do want to be aware of that. Also, you know, off-road, I just felt like The stability of the vehicle felt good, and even in that mud that was very, very slick, you know, the KM3s did their job and got me through it. Though one of the things I did not like, and this is another thing that I might be more interested in doing the all-terrains, is that they really threw a lot of mud, and that really caked the entire vehicle with mud. Now I get it, mud terrains that's what their job is to eject mud. But I could see on one of the trails that somebody had been driving with all-terrains, and they were able to get through it as well. So I think that if I would have had all-terrains, it would have been fine. And if I would have had the ability to air down, which we can talk about a little bit more later, I don't think it would have been a problem at all with the all-terrains, and maybe I wouldn't have got quite so much mud all over the Jeep. So as many of you that go adventuring and overlanding know, storage is one of those things that there never seems to be enough of. Now the Jeep has its obvious bed storage. It is a shorter bed, so you have to kind of keep that in consideration. But one thing that I actually liked and used a lot was the underseat storage in the back. That was actually pretty spacious, and I was pretty surprised about how much gear I was able to store under those seats. As far as other little bits of storage that are in the Jeep, and these are just standard Jeep things, is you got your center console, and it was fairly deep, and I was able to keep a few items in it as well. So all things considered, the Jeep did extremely well handling the types of challenges we run into overlanding out in the Eastern Oregon desert. One of those biggest challenges is rain. When we get rain out in the desert, it just turns the dirt into a slimy, greasy, muddy mess, and it's almost worse than ice as far as how slick it can be. The Jeep did great. It kept me on the road. It got me up the hills, and I never had any concerns that I wasn't going to be able to get to my next destination. So overall, with the handling and the ride comfort and everything, this thing is awesome as far as comfort and capability for overlanding, in my opinion. Now, as far as camping was concerned in the vehicle, I tried to keep my gear fairly minimal. I really wanted this trip to be about the Gladiator and the accessories that come on it. So what I brought was a cooler, a cook stove, I brought a cast iron skillet and a bush pot. I also brought my axe and shovel, and then I brought my Jackery 1000 in order to keep all my camera gear and everything charged up and working for me on the trip so I could video the whole thing. Now, the vehicle itself, again, can come optional with a rooftop tent. Now, this particular style has been around for a long time, but I do believe there's some other options available on RMT's website if you want to check that out. But I have used this style for a long time. It's tried and true. I knew that I wouldn't have any problem with it leaking or any of that. And you know, I did run into rain, snow, wind, hail, sleep, just about everything that you can imagine I ran into on this particular trip. And again, I wasn't worried about getting wet or the tent failing on me in some way. Now, one of the downsides with this style of tent is you have the rain fly, and in the wind it can be really noisy and flap against the tent, and that happened to me on the first night. I was camped on a beautiful rock bluff, absolutely gorgeous, but the wind really kicked up and started blowing, and I had to listen to that rain fly flap against the tent all night, which made for a little bit of a rough first evening. But like I said, there are some other options that you can look at with them. I just know that this one, I mean, I've spent a lot of nights in a tent like this. They are tried and true, and they are a good option for this application. So just the way this thing is optioned, it worked very well for me out on my overland trip. But there are a few things that I personally would like to see either as options or changed about the vehicle. The first thing was the rock sliders. They are very sturdy, and I feel like they would do their job very well against protecting the underbody of the vehicle. But it would be nice if they stuck out just a little bit more for us guys that are getting a bit older, so that we can have something to step on to get inside the Jeep. And plus, I would like to have something a little bit more substantial to be able to purchase on while I am working with the tent on the roof. The other thing is I'd probably get rid of these roto packs and opt for a shovel and axe mount here instead, and then go with a 5-gallon jerry can in the back, because extra fuel is something that you really definitely want to have when you're out exploring and overlanding in remote areas like what we have here in Oregon. The other thing that that I would like to see as an option that I've become quite fond of in the last couple vehicles that I've done is onboard air. Now, typically I use onboard air to air down my tires so that way I can get a little bit more supple ride on the trail. As I already explained, with the Fox 2.5, this thing already rides amazing. That's not really necessary, but there are still times that you're gonna run into either snow, deep mud, or sand, and you're going to want to be able to air down your tires to be able to gain that extra bit of traction. And then you're going to need a way to be able to air back up once you hit pavement. So onboard air as an option for the vehicle would be great. Plus, just having onboard air is super helpful when it comes to especially desert overlanding, or any time when you're overlanding and it's dusty. It's just great to have a way to blow dust off of gear, off of things. I've used it to blow dust off my camera lenses. It's just a handy piece of kit to have on a vehicle. Now, as far as a dual battery system, that might be something I would also consider, but quite honestly, again, with the Jackery 1000, I never really found that I needed extra power than what that offered. And the nice thing about it was I was able to take it up to the tent with me and use it up in the tent. So even if I would have been running a refrigerator over, say, just the cooler, I don't think I'd have had any problem running the Jackery 1000. But I kind of liked for weekend and week-long trips and setups like this, I kind of like that portable option over an actual dual battery system, because you're not doing anything to the wiring of the vehicle, and that's just one less thing that could possibly go wrong on the trail. So dual battery system I don't really think is a necessity. I'd like to get you guys' opinion on that. What do you think for overlanding, dual battery system or portable system? I think portable system, but everybody kind of has their own thoughts. Plus, I'd also like to know, do you guys have any of your own ideas of, other than what I've talked about, of things that you would like to see as an option on a vehicle that was turnkey and ready to roll off the lot? All right, guys, so that's it. That's all I have for you guys on the RMT Overland Jeep Gladiator. Now, there's a lot of options when it comes to overland vehicles. This is definitely not the only option. It's just another option that's available to people. And I understand, there's a lot of busy professionals out there that their free time is extremely important to them. They don't want to spend that time digging through the internet trying to figure out the components that are going to work with their vehicle and to make their vehicle the way they want it for the activities they want to do. They want a vehicle that they can trust, that's built properly, and that will take them out and do the job they want to do without all that extra hassle. I also understand that there's people who love having the part of the build. So, different strokes for different folks, and this is just, like I said, it's not the only option out there for overlanding or the best option out there for overlanding. It's just another great option that now is available from RMT Overland. And like I said, if you guys aren't into Jeeps, they have other options as well from Ford, Dodge, and Chevy. So definitely check out their website. Links will be below, and you can check out their other offerings. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, guys, I absolutely did have a ball with this Jeep out on the desert, and this last week it was a great time. The thing performed really well, and it was a lot of fun. If you guys haven't checked out those videos, check out the link above and check them out. But as it is, like I said, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna jump back in the van. So if you found this video useful in some way, please do leave it a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below, and we'll catch you guys again outside.